So maybe. Hadn't had any rain in a while. I've escaped mowing the yard this week, so I guess that's a good thing. Put that off till next week sometime. Terry, they still got construction going. They've got the construction done past that exit 33 at first exit out of Asheville, but from there to Hendersonville, they've still got all the barriers up and working on the road for however many miles that is, 14 miles, I guess. But it's moved pretty good, except we got behind one of those big double wides they were moving half of. That guy, he wouldn't budge an inch. He took up both lanes all the way from that exit 33 down to Hendersonville. He wouldn't budge even when he come to a wide spot. He wouldn't give up the road. Had a truck with him that blocked the other side. There was lots of places he could have let traffic get around, but he was just he's moving pretty good. That didn't slow us down a whole lot. But then we got down to South Carolina, and they're working on that bridge across the lake down there, and that traffic backed up there for about 20 minutes, I guess. You can't go anywhere on the interstates anymore without some kind of a hold-up. I used to like the interstates. You could get where you was going, but not so much anymore. Slows you down. WD4OUM, it's WB4NKL.
WD4OUM. Well, good morning, John Boy and Steve. Yeah, I'm like it. I get on the interstate as a last resort. I hate it. Boy, anymore, I don't care what road you get on, it's cram-packed. Too many people. Oh, well. Oh, yeah. Cliff, you might be able to settle a discussion we've had in yesterday or so. Everybody says my Yesu don't sound near as good as that Elmac does, so you might be, conditions between me and you might be able to tell me more about my audio. If you remember what we're doing. Oh, people. What can I say? Anyway, they always start a zoo and have people in it. Let the monkeys come along, stand there and, look through the bars and aggravate the people. What do you think about that, cuz? K4YBC, WD4OUM.
KB4PSI.
Okay, Terry. Heard KP4PSI, was it? We'll get you in here shortly, sir. Let's see. I forgot who you come after. I think you come after N4LQ, I believe, sir. So, Steve, you can turn it over to the other gentleman, I guess. Okay, well, oh, Terry, you won't do, buddy. I tell you what, you just won't do. Yazoo sounds okay. It does. It's not an Elmac, but it sounds okay. So, you don't have anything to be ashamed of. It sounds pretty good. Not a lot going on here. I know, Terry, I hurt your feelings, but I sent Jimmy up a couple of tubes I had here. I guess the ones I did send you were bad. I apologize for that, buddy. Of course, that's just payback for that antenna switch you gave me that wasn't worth a flip. Oh, well. W4JPL, take it, K4YBC.
Okie doke. K4YBC in a group, W4JPL. Well, hello to Tommy there, KB4PSI. Good signal coming in here to Liberty, North Carolina, which is south of Greensboro. Well, boys, this week I had to go to doctor's on Tuesday morning, pull some blood. Took them 5 times to get some blood out of me. I got 3 holes in one arm and 2 holes in the other, and 2 different nurses. They couldn't get no blood. The nurse finally said, "Don't you bleed?" And I said, "Apparently not. And thank you for making me a pincushion." She said, "Don't worry, it hurts right away." I painted the hall in my house this week. What a pain in the bojangles that was. Do the woodwork, then do the walls, and try not to get as much paint on me as I did on the walls and whatnot. I also finished up a guitar project. I got a guitar that's been laying around I've had for 50 years, and it's been sad, lonely, dirty, rusty, beat up, and I decided, I got 2 of them, and I decided I'd go to restore it, and I'd got it restored. It was made in 1966, and for a piece of junk guitar from that long ago, it plays surprisingly well. So next is the other one, and it's not as in good condition. I got a lot to clean up on that one, but it'll give me something to do. Sunday, they're calling for a high or a low of 40 degrees, so Maggie will probably make me turn the heat on. Over to you, Steve, and good morning. N4LQ in a group, W4JPL.
Yeah, W4JPL, N4LQ. Yeah, well, John, you got poked and painted and plucked all at the same time. And fine on that old guitar. I do not like shots. I don't mind it so much when they take a blood sample or something, but I don't like it when they stick it in your arm. And good morning to Tommy. You sounded good this morning over there in Greenville, Tennessee. So over to you, KB4PSI, N4LQ.
Yeah, good morning. Me get in the middle of the road here.
Everybody sounding good this morning, Greenville? My goodness, Cliff, sounds like you got a crew in here. I just wanted to jump in and back out pretty quick. I got to head to work, but come down here earlier and turned all the rig on so it'd warm up a little bit. Terry, you gave me a good idea, buddy, about the name for that zoo you're talking about there. We've got a zoo up here close to us called the Bright Zoo. So that one that you're talking about could be called the Not-So-Bright Zoo. Yeah. Anyway, you can ponder on that a little bit, Terry. All right, John, you sounded good. JPL, Steve, my goodness, your signal's always unreal over here. But the band is very favorable this morning. Okay, I'm gonna head on to work. I'll jump back out of here, and I'll let Cliff pick it up. Everybody have a good day. 73s to everyone. WB4NKL in a group. KB4PSI.
WK4 KF4DRN.
I'm all right, Tommy. Good to hear you this morning, and have a good day there at work. Go ahead, Rick, WK4R, go ahead, and then turn it to Greg, and then back to me.
Try and write some stuff down. Hopefully this one's working. Change a little bit here. WK4R. Good morning, everybody. Not much going on yet. Helped a fellow at church get a radio installed in his truck yesterday, and made him do all the grunt work, and I pointed. So that was a pretty good install. KF4DNR, I think I probably got that wrong. WK4. WA4LL.
KF4DRN. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay this morning. anyway, thought I'd jump in and see how everybody's doing this morning. It seemed like a pretty good crew in here this morning, but cloudy down here in Newmarket. But anyway, I don't know if it's going to rain or not, but I'll pass it on around. KF4DRN.
Go ahead, Dave.
All righty. Good morning. I'm running a little bit late today myself. Hope everybody's doing well. Mostly cloudy, 55 degrees, and they say we're going to get some rain tonight, I believe, before we need it. Cliff, hope you guys had a good time at the luncheon. Looks like you had a good turnout. I think they said about 21, somewhere in that ballpark. Would like to have been there, but, well. Anyway, I didn't hear who I was supposed to give it to, so whoever that is, pick it up. WA4LL.
K4JL.
Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm at the top of the list, so go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay. Here I am trying the Elmac again. My little 68 don't work as good as it ought to. One of these days I'll take it over there and have Cliff bounce it around for a while. I don't know who to give it to, quick. Maybe back to you, K4JL.
Anybody else want to join? I guess that's got everybody. Yeah, I made it out here to the top of the list today, somehow. Good morning to everybody that's joined in. And let's see, Terry, audio. Audio sounds good, but I'm not going to comment about Yazoo or Elmac or anything, because, you know, I don't know if I believe what rig you're telling me that you're running, so I'm just not going to comment anymore, except good audio. It can be a Flex or one of them rigs. Could be an Elmac. And let's see. Yeah, Steve, I come in last night. Well, after Chuck brought me back to Irwin, I walked up to the top of the mountain, got my walk in, and it was about dark when I got home. And Linda was sitting. We eat a bite, and she was sitting there at the TV. So we watched that Amerigeddon movie that you and Larry, or you were talking about, and Larry had watched. So we watched it. Then I come on out here and got on the radio for a while. We was wondering about you. I guess that was about 9 o'clock when we got on. It's close to 10, I guess, we signed out. And let's see, John, the blood, I have that same trouble. Sometimes you walk in there and they just pop it and get it the first time, and then I think some of them are incompetent. They mess around. I think they're only allowed to try 2 times up here at the doctor's office, and then they have to go get somebody else. Time they try it about 3 or 4 times, you've got needles stuck everywhere. You about feel ready to pass out. So I kind of avoid them places if I can. And let's see. I guess that's about it. Send it on back around for another go around. WD4 OUM. It's WB4NKL.
WD4OUM. Well, I've been trying to trade that Elmac for a good Yaesu, and I ain't had no takers yet. But Jimmy, best thing you could do, and cheapest thing you could do, everybody knows how cheap you are, is throw that thing in the trash can and forget it. And you'd have to leave a week early if you was coming over here, because you get lost 3 or 4 times and want somebody to come and get you. So there. And don't none of you fellas say nothing bad about Billy Bob, because he's out there listening, driving, and texting. And he sent me a picture there of his GPS that he was 541 miles from wherever he's a-going. So if I knew the the highway patrol's phone number, I'd call them and say there's an idiot out there texting while he's supposed to be driving. So, oh well. So much for that. And let me see here. Getting on the radio at 9 o'clock at night. You're supposed to be in bed, dip in bed at 9 o'clock at night. Good God, Gertie. K4YBC, WD4OUM.
You got me all choked up, Terry. Mercy. WD4OUM, K4YBC. Well, I hope Billy has a nice trip, and I imagine it's kind of winter time up there in South Dakota. I imagine they're getting some snow up there, maybe. I don't know. And talking about trying to get blood out of you, my wife is the world's worst. Once in a while, the doctor, she goes to the doctor, they can get blood out of her, but most of the time they have to send her to the emergency room to have the emergency room nurses or something get her blood out, because they just can't do it. And they pick her all to pieces, I'm telling you what. So she's got really small veins, and it's just hard to get blood out of her. And I'm just the opposite. My big old vein just popped up there, and like that nurse told me one day, she could take my blood blindfolded. So I got good ones, and she's got skinny ones, so there you go. Anyway, and Jimmy, you're getting a package tomorrow, so hopefully it gets there safely. W4JPL, K4YBC.
Okay, K4YBC in the group, W4JPL. Well, this morning I'm running the 500 and my Cosmic Blue NC270. I think I might know where another one of these is I might be able to get, so I could play them in stereo. So I hope everybody can hear this little QRP rig I got going on here. Let's see, a couple interesting things. I always try to do this running joke when I'm at the doctor's, and then people have no sense of humor whatsoever, and you guys might have heard me babble this before, but they always hand you this little cup, and they say, okay, we need you to give us a urine sample. And I always innocently look at them and say, well, how am I supposed to do this? And they say, well, you got to take it midstream. So I say, well, let me get this straight. You want me to stand in the middle of a stream so I can pee in this cup? They have no sense of humor, these people. I think it's hilarious, but what do I know? I'm an idiot. Let's see. The other interesting thing is we got all kinds of markings down on the street. Apparently Spectrum is going to run a line down our road, which I am very happy about, because AT&T keeps lowering their service levels and raising their prices. So, and Dave LLR, I wonder how you're healing up. And finally, the leaves are starting to change here, so I wonder what it's like up in the mountains. N4LQ in the group, W4JPL.
W4JPL, N4LQ. Yeah, I don't care for some of those doctors either. And that sample thing, they show you that little door, you know, and I had trouble reaching that door. I don't know, but that was a mess. Anyway, we'll find on the Amerigeddon. I have trouble remembering the name of that. Amerigeddon. It's not really a word, but I think it's like Armageddon, but Amerigeddon. But it's kind of ends kind of interesting. But glad you enjoyed that. And at 9 o'clock last night, I was on 160 yakking with Boone and let's see, Bruce in 4WD. We went on to the wee hours, and Boone dropped out, and Bruce kept going. So we talked about these receivers that I brought home from the luncheon that used to be Cliff's. Interesting little radios. The HQ-110 has the 2-meter converter in it, and somebody put a label on the front pull for 2 meters, and it seems to work. I haven't tried to pick anything up on 2 meters, but it, the noise level increases at least when you pull that knob. I listened to a little bit of AM and CW on it, so it's a pretty nice radio. The Hallicrafters SX-146 is working okay. It's a different breed. Its IF stage is regenerative, and you got a control on the front panel called sensitivity, which is kind of activating a regeneration of that IF and sharpens it up as you increase it, which is kind of interesting. I guess that helps some. And if you go to CW sideband mode, that control, you totally advance it, and it becomes the BFO, although it's not variable. And the meter is stuck, just like you said. I'm not sure if I can get into it and get some WD-4 in it. I may have to drill a hole in it and fill it up with WD-40. Anyway, Terry's audio, your audio is okay. If you told me you were running a Yaesu rig, I kind of have a mental block against listening to a Japanese rig on a tube type receiver here, but I think the Elmac sounds good. I think you're. Did I understand it right that Cliff make a mod to take out the little being when you transmit? I wonder what you did, Cliff, how you fixed that. And of course, when on my live stream, I use an SDR to do that, but I listen on the Elmac usually. But it's synchronous AM, and when somebody is off frequency, including myself, it kind of goes and tunes them in, and some guy sent me a note the other day, said, "What is that whoopee cushion sound you got?" When somebody comes on. So that's what that is. Hardly anybody's on frequency when you're using these old things. And I'm on the AF-67 this morning, running barefoot, about 30 watts. Let's see, and the luncheon was really good. Yeah, 21 people, and they gave us the small room yesterday, and we were kind of crowded in there, but that made it more fun. So, Richard brought a digital clock kit that he had bought off of Amazon and used Nixie tubes, which he had to supply the Nixie tubes, but that was kind of neat looking. So let's see, goes to Tommy W or KB4PSI. You may not be there. If not, then Rick can pick it up. Go ahead, M4LQ.
I think Tommy got out, so it goes to Rick. Go ahead, Rick.
I'm trying WK4. Grabbing the wrong microphone anyway. Well, sounds like Jimmy might get his amp going full bore soon. Jerry, when you call on Billy, he must be speeding. Well, I know he is. That was kind of a foolish statement, but if he's only got 545 miles left, he's been driving pretty good. Well, I don't know how he's driving half, but anyway, he's been moving down the road. Doctor's offices. Well, unfortunately, they don't usually have. I've never had a problem with them finding a vein. Yet, I guess the time could come. I remember years and years ago when I was an EMT, we took a guy to the hospital. Him and his wife apparently had a little dispute. She hit him in the head with a shovel. Gashed him open pretty good. Then she showed up. We found out he'd stuck her in the boob with an ice pick, so. But they had a hard time. They must have stuck him 20 times or more trying to get blood out of him. Of course, the nurse thought they'd try to take revenge. I don't know. But, John, you're right. Doctor's offices have a lack of sense of humor generally. And dentists are not quite as bad. And leaf changing. Last I heard, John, the leaves were changing or down to about 4,500 foot elevation. That's been several days ago. So, but they're dropping like flies out here in the yard. Of course, I only got about one tree, well, two little trees. And Terry, on the Yazoo Twins receiver, did you ever find one that had all the boards in it for the converters and stuff? KF4DRN, WK4.
KF4DRN. Running the amp this morning. Thought I'd turn it on. Haven't used it in a while. Thought I'd better burn the cobwebs out of it. Running about 175 watts this morning. Anyway, with the Americana AL811H. Still the same old radio, the Yazoo 840. So that's what I'm running this morning. Everybody sounded good this morning. Must have some pretty good conditions. I'll pass it on around. KF4DRN, the group.
KF4DRN and the group, WA4LLR. Well, Greg, it's sounding good up here, I can tell you that. Doing a good job for you. Well, the sun just kind of broke through some clouds. John, you were asking about color. Starting to get a little bit. I'm between 3,000 and 3,500 feet here. And looking across the valley, I can see, the maples are starting to turn and a few other trees, but not a lot of color yet. They'll have to get up, 1,000 foot higher or so to start seeing a lot. But I'd say a couple of weeks to be maxed out would be my guess, depending on weather and everything else. And Billy, if you're listening, I hope you have a safe trip. Stay healthy, buddy. And Terry, if you had Cliff take the ping out of that Elmac, there ain't but one reason you would do that. That would be so people couldn't tell which radio you're using. And I can't believe that Cliff would do taking that distinctive sound out. That's terrible. And Jimmy, if you follow Terry's advice and throw the AF-68 in the trash, just give me a heads up so I can be there waiting. John, as far as healing on the hip replacement, I am, praise God. I'm glad I've gotten the staples out and got rid of the vacuum pumps. And one thing I'm really happy about is I'm not having to continue taking those heparin shots my wife had to give me every day in the stomach for 14 days. I'm glad to have that behind me. And yep, I've had my experiences with phlebotomists that couldn't find a vein if X marked the spot, and then I've had those that just walk in and you didn't even know they did it. So yep. Cliff, sound like you really had a busy day yesterday, buddy. Jimmy, glad to hear that Dave's got your 811s on the way. And I'm sure you'll find a good one in them. If something happens and they get messed up in transit and all that, I'm sure I can produce a good one for you. And let's see what else is going on. Not a whole lot. It looks like we're on the last day of the fairly warm weather. Things are about to change. So Rick can get out and dance in the street, and I can hunt my long john. K4JAL, WA4LLO.
W4GZ.
Jimmy, go ahead and you give it to Brent.
Roger. Let's make sure I'm nowhere near on frequency. Let's see if I can do something about that. Oh, it almost did it. That's as close as I'm going to get. So there you go. Yeah, Cuz, when that gets here, I'll look at what the postage is on it and send it to you. I guess QRZ's got your correct address, just like mine. Wonderful day. I had my shot yesterday. It hurt like heck all afternoon, but it's fine now. So there you go. I think I give it to Mr. Cliff. If I'm wrong, Cliff, do something else. WB4NKL, K4JAL.
Yeah, we'll give it on to Brandon and he can send it back to me. Go ahead, Brandon.
Good morning. Late getting in here. I did not set the alarm clock. Which was a good thing. And some pretty heavy sleeping. Good morning to everybody. Looks like it's going to be another pretty day here. I haven't had a chance to look at the temperature gauge, but like Dave said, as the receiver was warming up, I think this is the last of the warm days. Go ahead, Cliff. WB4NKL, W4GZ.
W4GZ, WB4NKL. Well, good morning, Brandon. Glad you got up and made it. I set my clock for 7, and usually I'm up before it went off, but this morning the alarm woke me up, so I got up a little later, I guess. I got up at 7. So. Billy, hello if you're listening. Sounds like you're closing in to North Dakota. I brought the North Dakota North Dakota weather up, and it says it's 37 degrees out there right now, and it's going to get up to 48. And 38% chance of precipitation. I guess that could be either way at 37 degrees. Some snow in it, or rain, or something. But it don't sound quite as good as our weather. So I hope you get acclimated to it and make it back without getting too bad a shape. He's talking about the doctors. I can be out here walking, or get back to the house, and you can see every vein in my arm. And but when I go into that doctor's office, it's cool in there, and I think those veins just hide. So I don't know. Sometimes it's just rough. And got a good signal from Greg down there, and then from John on the Johnson 500. It sounds real good this morning, John. And Greg, your amplifiers are working. Good signal. I guess still the weakest signal I got, which I hate to say it, but it's LLR wins today with his Kenwood. But still copy okay, Dave. So hopefully it won't be too much longer. You'll be back on top shelf with the rigs. Coming back yesterday at Sam's Gap on the leaves, there were very few trees that were getting colored up. I don't know. I think the elevation there is close to 4,000 maybe. But just going by that, it looked like it might be a couple weeks before they really start developing a lot of color. I guess that depends on the moisture and temperature and everything else. And let's see. Steve, glad the rig's working out. That HQ-110, they called that the VHF version, and I think it probably used to have a little circle that said VHF on the front of it. It looks like it was missing, but that was they made a HQ-170 VHF and the 110 VHF with new Visters, and they were pretty hot on 2 meters. So yeah, that was an option. And that IF works sort of like a Q multiplier. Works pretty good, except it's not adjustable frequency. And I guess that's about all I got here. Send it on around. Go ahead, Terry. WD4 OUM, WB4 NKL.
WD4OUA. Well, good morning, Brandon. And, Rick, I ain't seen or heard tell but one of them receivers with all the boards in it a couple years ago. And I had 2 sets of the twins at that time. I can't remember where I seen it advertised, but it wasn't too bad of a price. It had the FM board and the 2 and 6 meter board in it. But that's the only one I've ever run across. So there you go. And let me see here. All you audio fanatics and everything ain't got a clue. I just wanted to clarify that, none of you fellas had a clue what you was talking about. You just talked to hear your mouth rattle or something. Anyway, this week I have been switching back and forth between the Yaesu twins and the Elmac, and nobody couldn't tell the flip-dipping difference. So, there. Anyway, and I might be on the Valiant this morning. So, oh well. I just wanted to prove something myself. You can ask 10 people how your audio sounds, and you're going to get 10 different flipping answers. So, there. Anyway. Well, let me see. That's about it, I guess. K4YBC, WD4OUM. Oh, before I turn it over to you, talking about doctors' offices and everything, not having a sense of humor. Every time I go up there, once a year, they give you that wellness thing due to the insurance. Well, that nurse sits there and goes down that list of stuff. Do you get dizzy? Do you all this stuff? She asks you a bunch of big long questions, and I look at her and I say, all the above. That gets her attention. Go ahead, cuz.
Okay, Terry. Oh, Lordy. WD4OUM, K4YBC. Yeah, I get a kick out of that, And they always ask me, have you fallen lately? And I said, well, yeah, I fell out of the top of a pine tree back there in the backyard the other day. She said, what? Oh, well, they do ask them dumb questions. She was asking me one day this and that and the other, and then she said, do you own a gun? And I said, well, what's that got to do with the price of oats in China? I mean, she said, well, I need to ask you, do you own a gun? I said, well, that's none of your flip-dipping business. So there, I did not answer her question. I don't know what owning a gun's got to do with me falling out of a pine tree or something, Oh, well. And Jimmy, you do not have to submit any postage or nothing. I mean, that's what we do. We try to help one another, and everybody on this net, I think, sent me something or helped me out in one way or the other, and there's never been a charge, and there's no charge to you, my friend, so don't worry about it. Just hope those tubes work, and if you have any problems, I think I got a few more out there that I can dig up and let you have, because I don't use them anymore, and so I may have some more out there that you can have also. Of course, I know you was wanting to switch over to 572s, but those things are getting scarce as hen's teeth too, so good luck on that. And Greg, man, you're booming in up here in Lenore this morning. Great signal. W4JPL, K4YBC.
Okay, K4YBC in a group, W4JPL. Hello, Brandon, and everybody else that came in there. Billy, I wonder if you can hear me. They say there's no such thing as a stupid question. And Rick, you're going to appreciate this. I was watching a YouTube video last night on train wrecks, and I'm paraphrasing, but apparently what happened was, this is trains going along the banks of the Mississippi River. I think it was the Mississippi River, and some barge captain, for some reason, decided to drive his barge right up to the shore, but he went over the railroad tracks. Of course, the train hit the barge. Nobody got hurt, thank you, Jesus, but of course the engine toppled over, and there was all kinds of cars, and they were loaded with coal, and coal went in the river and all this stuff. So the investigator comes, and he asked the engineer what he was doing. And the guy says, well, I run the train. He says, well, were you distracted? He says, no, I was talking to my, whatever he was, I guess whoever's helping him drive the thing. And he says, well, does that mean you were distracted? Did you try to avoid the barge on the tracks? And the guy says, no. He said, you can't. The train goes where the tracks are. So the guy, the investigator basically said, so what you're telling me is where the tracks go, that's where the train has to go. And it went on and on. I was like, oh my Lord. Yeah. So there is such a thing as a stupid question. And as far as doctors having a sense of humor, I did have one doctor that had a sense of humor. He's a urologist. That I had a kidney stone in my back the size of a marble, and he had to go up inside and blast it out with a laser. But on his office door there's a sign that says, you're in good hands. N4LQ, W4JPL.
J4, W4JPL, N4LQ. That's good about the train, and I guess the other guy was the co-pilot. Well, he should have grabbed the steering wheel and veered around that thing and drove it into the river. I don't know. It sounds like a mess. Anyway, let's see. As far as Dakota goes, we went through there one time, but it was South Dakota. We went through the Badlands area, and if you haven't ever been to the Badlands, that is an experience. It is really strange. It's like being on the moon, and they've got these little hills, and they're on both sides of the road. They're only about, 40 or 50 feet high, but it's like a maze. If you got off the road and you walked like 200 feet in any direction, you'd be lost. I mean, it is a weird place. I don't think I want to live there. It's too cold and too ugly. So anyway, yeah, Cliff, I'd like to find a sticker for this thing. That would make it worth 5 times what I paid for it. But I could find the VHF sticker for this HQ110. And yeah, that wellness test, this outfit that I go to, I told them I wanted to go ahead and get that, and they said, well, we'll schedule you. And it was like 2 months away, so they put you out the bottom of the list. And she said, in the meantime, fill this out. And she just gave me a pile of questions and said, take them home and fill them out. Well, I started looking through them, and a lot of them they require a person to actually ask those questions to you, and your response has to be verbal. So I just took and threw it away and called them up, and I said, cancel my appointment. That's a total waste of time. I'd already had all my blood tests and everything, and that's just, and the questions about, do you feel safe at home? No, I don't feel safe. Anyway, go ahead and take it, Rick. WK4R N4LQ.
WK4R. Well, let's fix this. Let's see. Well, hello, Brandon. I didn't get to say anything to you. As for leaves and leaf looking, I guess, I've always used the date of October 18th as prime time and adjust from there as needed. And it's held pretty true over the years, really. That's usually pretty close to when I get up there. Terry, on the Yaesu Twins, my receiver does have all the boards in it. Transmitter, see, they hold, 3 filters? CW, sideband, AM, and it's got all those. There might be, I think there's 2 different CWs, come to think of it, but I don't use those, so. And, Steve, I love the Badlands. It's, went to, one of the state, the national parks out there, whatever national park is out there. And the first sign that met me at a grassy area was, beware of rattlesnakes. I never got my wife to cross through that little path over to the hills to climb around some, but I finally, after some coaxing, got her over there. And I'm not a snake fan at all, but I could see they weren't there. It's so unique, I guess, that I kept expecting John Wayne or Matt Dillon to come riding by at any moment. It just took me back to all those westerns I'd watched or still watch, and I hear dishes and pots rattling in the kitchen, so I'm gonna go ahead and say 73, but listen for a while until I hear the breakfast call, I reckon. But everybody have a good day, good weekend, all that stuff, and I guess we'll be back Monday. Let's see. KF4DRN, WK4R cleared, listening.
You going to the tractor show?
No. Where's it at?
And you're downtown, well, close. Morganton, I sent you a message.
Oh, I have to look. But I got to do breakfast at church tomorrow, so maybe, maybe not.
Well, you can go today, too.
Okay. Go ahead now, Greg.
Okay, F4DRN in the group. Yeah, everybody's still sounding good. We got some good conditions this morning. You know, someone talking about those Yaesu Twins. I've seen those before. I had a friend in Knoxville that had one of those. But he never did hook it up, never did plug it up or anything. I guess he was a collector, you know. But anyway, he wouldn't turn loose of it. But he since then passed away. He's Silent Key now. Good friend of mine. There's a lot of people I've known through the years it's done passed on. But anyway, I guess that goes with getting older. I'm 66 now, so I'll be 67 the end of this month. Anyway, if I make it. But yeah, everybody's sounding good. I'll pass it on around. I'll say 7-3 on this round here, and I'll get off here. So everybody have a good day, and 7-3 all around. KF4DRN.
KF4DRN, WA4LLR, 7-3 to you, Greg, and 7-3 Rick. Boy, we know how to get Rick off the radio. All somebody has to do is rattle a pot his hand. Well, I finally achieved notoriety. Got the weakest signal award, so now I'm known for something. Hopefully I can get out of that category before long. Looking forward to getting a little more fire in the wire. But everybody's sounding good up here today. No problem copying anybody. Yeah, Brandon, I was looking at the weather report. I think the high tomorrow is like 54, 55. And tomorrow night's like 30, 38. Wind 15, 20 mile an hour, something like that. And we got a 70% chance of rain tonight. So I do hope we get some rain. We need it. But Jimmy, glad the pain from the shot eased up. You're doing okay today. That's always good. And Terry, I will agree with the fact that everybody's opinion of audio is different. Everybody's got a way that they would prefer it to sound to them. Rick wants to see me at the eardrum fracturing level, and other people want a lot of bass, and other people want a lot of highs, and some want a lot of mids. So yeah, you're right. Most of the audio reports in the ear of the beholder, but when there's hum and distortion and stuff like that, pretty much everybody can hear it. So it's a mixed bag. And yes, the little Fleet Power Kenwood has been all I've had for about almost 3 weeks now, but hopefully we can move on up before long. And Steve, sound like you brought some interesting receivers back from the luncheon. Something else to play with. And let's see, Richard, if I'm not mistaken, Richard brought some kind of an LED clock. The last show and tell on it didn't exactly spell out the time. It did it in a in a kind of an interesting way. So at least with an Ipsy tube, you could read the time at a glance. The other one had to kind of think about it. So he's a tinkerer. Oh, Brandon, good to hear you this morning. Glad you got in here with us. Hope you guys are doing okay. K4JAL, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, K4JAL. Well, Dave, I hope you get back to your big rigs as soon as you can, but you're doing fine the way you are. And, cuz, I really appreciate you. You're a good old boy. And if I can find one, I'm going to get me one of them black crushed hats like Doc Adams on Gunsmoke wears, and I'm going to give it to you because you'll look just like him. Now, that assistant driver on a train is called a brakeman. I know that because I'm old. And the Badlands, only time I ever saw the Badlands, I was on a train going from New Jersey to Tucson, Fairfield, California, getting ready to load on the Big Bird and go to the war. It was a good trip, though. All things considered, I made it back. So that's about it for me. Brandon, how you doing, buddy? I hope your back's okay. W4GUZ, K4JAL, over to you.
Well, I squeezed the right microphone. Well, good morning, everybody. I know who's in here now. The back's doing good. Getting over the cold. Working too much. Yada, yada, yada. I was thinking about having you bring a receiver home, Cliff, yesterday. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Whenever the luncheon was. This is Friday, right? But I didn't follow through with it, so that didn't work out. I was looking at one of Brian's, but anyway, I don't need another one. Well, it's 55 degrees here on the hill in the holler. It's 45 degrees on Cleveland's Peak. And according to Billy's text, it's a little colder up where he's at, so I guess he's on the road in his land yacht heading north. Haven't been through the Badlands, seen many pictures. Brother has been there several times and says it's a must-see if you're in that neck of the woods. So there's a lot of little places in that area that I'd like to eventually make it to. So if I ever get this old 67 Volkswagen bus finished, that's the plan. So, and if I don't ever get it finished, then maybe we can take the other 66 bus. We'll make that our plan. But anyway, yep, days are getting shorter and the leaves are they've been falling off here. You really can't tell it by looking up, but you look down, the road's covered. And I mowed yesterday. I would like to say it will be the last time, but I highly doubt it, because it's still pretty green despite no rain in a while. I think I said September the 16th of the day was the last significant rain event we had here. And the little creeks are drying up. Staggerweed is no longer raging. I don't think you could float a vessel from here to town like you normally could. So, yeah, deer season's in full swing here. I don't think we're participating this year, just too much going on. But we were given a deer yesterday, so hey, now all we need is about 2 more gifted, and we'll be set for the year. WB4NKL, W4GUZ.
W4GUZ, WB4NKL. Let me come back down the band here a little bit. Well, it's a little touchy. Good deal, Brandon. That's good when somebody brings you one. Maybe get a couple more there before the season's over. Yeah, that wellness check, I had that the other day when I went to the doctor, and I got a kick out of her hearing test. She said, "Can you hear all right?" I said, "I think so." And then she started whispering, and I could still hear her. So I thought that was a unique hearing test. You start whispering. I guess everybody's whisper maybe it's a little different. She might have had a calibrated whisper. I don't know. But I think I passed. I don't. Most of those doctors don't have much of a sense of humor. I used to go to a foot doctor that was a ham, Steve Dale. He's been retired a long time, but he could cut up with ham. But that's the only one that I've actually had the association with that I could cut up with. And never been to the Dakotas. That's a trip I'd like to make too sometime. I've been out west and down through the southern United States, but never have been through the Northwest. So something to look forward to maybe. I'd have to hunt a Volkswagen caravan with Brandon out that way. So that might work out. And yeah, that's a brakeman on the other position there on the locomotive. When I went to work, they still had a fireman. Even though they were diesel engines, they had a fireman on there too. Had a 3-man crew because of union rules. They finally negotiated that out of the picture. But to avoid an accident, about the only control the engineer's got's brake lever. That's not instant by any means. But if they see far enough out, that I guess that has saved a few accidents. Terry, go ahead. I'm guessing that you're. Let me see. I'm saying you're on the Elmac today. So you can tell me whether I'm right or wrong. WD4OUM, WB4NKF.
WD4OUM. Well, I just sitting here thinking about old Greg down there running a 175 watt carrier on a Maratron amplifier. That'd do it. I ain't gonna do it for long. I don't think you got enough transformer in there. But I told you and you don't listen to you like the rest of these fellas, but oh well. And Brandon, getting a 67 finished. That ain't gonna happen. You ain't hit a lick on that thing in over 2 years now. It's just sitting there. You just walk by it and maybe bump against it or something. And speaking of which, that is a little project you said it was going to happen in October. This is October, Brandon. Yeah, I want an update on that. You don't have to go into detail. I just kind of want a little update on it. Anyway, let me see here. I ain't got no notion of going nowhere. I'm satisfied right here. Burbank ain't going nowhere else. It irks me to go to Johnson City or Church Hill. So I'm just going to stay right here. I have been across that windy hill over to Brannan's, but I don't know about that anymore either. So there, anyway. And cuz you keep digging them tubes up. I'd like to know, I've been good to you over the years, cuz. And, I always thought blood was thicker than water and stuff. And I'm sitting here, big old crocodile tears, blowing snot, going out. How come Jimmy gets the good tubes and I got the trash? K4YBC, WD4OUM. And I ain't telling you, Cliff.
Okay, Terry. Let me come down the band a little bit. Close enough. Well, those tubes were pull tubes. They hadn't been used, but I think they're in good shape. And I thought the ones I sent you were good ones too, Terry. I apologize for that, but oh well. And blood is thicker than water, I guess. Anyway, don't shed too many tears there, old buddy. It'll be all right. I'm going to say 7-3s. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll look for you come Monday. I don't know what I'm going to get into this weekend. And my wife's been sick. She's not feeling up to par, so guess we'll just hang out here around the house. And Terry, that's the old saying, there's no place like home, so there you go. Stay at home and enjoy life. Oh well, W4JPL, take it, K4YBC clear, but I'll be listening. If you're still in there, John, go ahead, over.
Yes, sir. live and in person, W4JPL. And I don't know, it's kind of partly cloudy, Liberty, North Carolina. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm going to go out there in a minute and take a look. And Maggie and I guess we'll go walking. Dave, I'm awful sorry to hear your wife's been feeling puny. I hope she gets over that quick. So I'm going to jump out of here, boys. I'll be listening for a little while. I'm going to get Maggie and we're going to go walk and get some exercising. And we went to the 2 times the exercise over at the YMCA, and a lady on Thursday liked to kill us. We ain't going on Thursday no more. There's another lady on Wednesday that's more entertaining. She does all kinds of dancing, and we can't dance for a squat, but it's fun to watch them try to do it. 73, God bless. Have a great weekend, boys. I'll be listening for a time. N4LQ and the group, W4JPL.
Yeah, have a good one there, John. N4LQ. Now sitting here looking at Nixie tube clocks, and if you go to ESTY.com and key in Nixie tube clocks, you wouldn't believe all the stuff they've got. And I'm looking at one here that's a wristwatch, a Nixie tube wristwatch, and it even tells you the temperature and the day and so forth. Pretty neat, and it's chargeable by wireless charger. Little tiny Nixie tubes. That's pretty cool. Okay, we'll say 73s too to everybody else that's here. And Jimmy, if you're listening, I did want to say you sound good this morning on your 68. Sounds real nice. So, Dave, I think you're next, and indeed you are the wiki. My S meter read backwards when you came on. It sucked the S meter reading right out of it. WA4LLR, N4LQ.
Well, Steve, it's the antimatter transmitter I'm using. You know, it cancels out regular matter, so it goes in a different direction. Anyway, let's see. Well, 7-3 to everybody. And hope everybody has a good weekend. And Rick, if you're listening, enjoy the cold, brother. Embrace the cold. We know that it's fine to get to be your season. 7-3, God bless. Lord willing, we'll catch up with you. What is today? Sunday afternoon for some and Monday for some. So everybody take care. I think Jimmy's still in there. If not, it goes to Brandon. K4JAL, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR in the group, K4JA. Yeah, I'm hanging by fingernail here. Things are good. You know, the only thing I've learned today is Ricky is afraid of the dark. I never knew that. I knew he didn't like hot weather, but he's not here to defend himself. That's why I said it. So, I guess I'll get on out, too. So, over to you, Brandon. W4GUZ K4JAL 73.
Okay, Jimmy. Yeah, you are sounding good. Everybody's sounding good. Even Dave was 25 watts. It don't take much, especially when you live on top of a mountain. It's hard to say. I wonder where Chad's at, but I think he was going to try to re-rail the train at Dollywood this weekend. And I guess I'll hang in here for one more. Yes, Terry, this is October. That project's coming along. It's the one that I think you're thinking of. I don't know. This steam engine project is finished. That's just took up times what that's done. Not any money, just time. When you're doing something by yourself, no, Amy really hadn't helped with that. So I can say I've done it on my own. She may have handed me a few boards here and there, but I've done most of it myself. But
that's finished for the 21st or 22nd, whatever that Saturday is, 21st, I think. It's pushed over in the corner in the way until that event, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with it after that. So, but picking up the father-in-law's dump truck, taking a bunch of unfortunate Collins broadcast gear that I've scrapped is going to the dumpster, to the scrap yard, and I've got some copper and a few batteries. I'm not even sure what batteries are bringing now. Once upon a time, they were $8 a piece. I'm sure that they've come down to nearly nothing now, but they're in the way and they're going away. But yeah, Rick, if I think the link worked that time, I may stop by the tractor show sometime tomorrow. Excuse me, considering they said they'll have 10 steam traction engines there, so that will be probably worth the short drive down to Burke County. And next week I'll be in Burke with the National Guard helicopters, and once again I guess I'll be a survivor, and I hope I can say that after the event's over with, but I don't know where I'll be stuck, either on the side of a rock cliff in the lower part of the Linville Gorge or in a dry suit floating in the middle of Lake James. I don't know, and I don't really care. It's fun. And nothing like being plucked up by a little cable about half the size of a pencil. Like I've said before, the ride up ain't the bad part. It's when you get to sit down in the seat and that very meticulously maintained SR-71 and about every rivet that's holding the aircraft together is so loose that they're turning with the vibrations of the engine. Yeah, but hey, they've had a pretty good safety record since this program got started. So anyway, I guess I'll jump out too. I'll be listening here for a while. I've got to catch up on some emails and some other mails. And had much time at all here last little bit. 73, hope everybody enjoys their day. Dave, I'm glad you're healing, and pretty soon you'll be sliding down those spiral steps. I wonder if you've ever tried that. WB4NKL, W4GUZ.
W4GUZ, WB4NKL. Okay, Brandon. Yeah, that ought to work. Slide down that spiral. Case probably keep it turning when he got to the bottom. Don't take too many turns to get me all dizzied up anymore. Daughter was talking about that. She'd taken some helped take some kids to Dollywood, and she's talking about those rides where they spin you around and around. She used to love them, and now not so much, she said. Made her dizzy. But she's getting, some few more years on her, too. Yeah, I think Chad went down that way. Said he'd talk to us Monday morning. I don't know if they got the little train he was wanting to ride it. I don't know if they got it back in business or not, but maybe they did. Hopefully, maybe he'll get to check it out. And let's see, I'm still sticking with the Elmac, Terry, that you're on. But you're not going to tell me, but I'm sticking with my what you're running there. I'll say 73s too, and like the other guys, it's 9 o'clock. I need to get out and exercise a little bit, walk around the block, or maybe go back up to Jonesboro, see what it's like out here. and hopefully we'll get that rain starting about 8 o'clock. I keep looking at it, and they keep on changing the percentage. One time it's 48%, next time I looked it's 30%, so who knows, time it gets here it might mess us all together. 73s, have a good weekend. WD4 OUMs, WB4 NKL.
Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, you unplugged it, didn't you?
Yeah, it did. I've had a ball last couple of days, this thing.
I can, you're got such a good signal over here. If I can detect the other noises in the background besides the ping. You've got some more noises are going on that I can detect with a good quieting signal. 73s.
Okie dokie. Well, you fellas have a good one. And Brandon, yeah. You know which project I was talking about, the one I said I'd like, one of my favorites. So anyway, you fellas have a great day. And Brandon, give my little sweetie a hug for me. Catch you fellas Monday, I guess. We don't talk to you in between. So I might get out here and hunt me a treasure. Today's Friday. WD4OUM, beautiful downtown Burbank.
I'll tell you, I meant to tell you, I looked at that schematic, and that is a sort of unattainable chip that drives that little tube, the Nixie tube. That's a little Nixie tube in there, and but I'm going to take a look at it sometime for you anyway. It might be that those things are in sockets, and it might be the socket not making good connection or something. It's worth a try and reseat the chip if that's the case. I was looking through that manual, and if that's the book that came with that radio, he had a couple places where they'd been sent back, or where he'd taken it in for repair, and that was one of the times that was what the repair was about. Said the display was a megacycle off from the readout, and the guy that had worked on it said that he took the board out and it started working, and he could never get it to quit again. So it could be a bad connection or something if that book came with that radio. Anyway, 73s, it's WB4 NKL, now clear.
Yep, that was the book with the radio. Yeah, that used to be one of the things, all the computer stuff I worked with. We get to having trouble with it, we'd pull the board out and take a pencil, with the eraser on it, and just erase the whiz out of the edge connector and stick it back in. It'd work again for 6 months, so yeah, there you go. All else fails, we can yank one out of yours and plug this. See you, WD4OUM.